that's looking counterfeit. I get done with one and move right on to another bitch. Yeah. College educated, she graduated.
What's going on, guys? Pete Nova here with First Read Fantasy. I am joined by my colleague Michael Hoff, and you can follow him on X at the FF Realist. And then you could also find, or the F Realist. I didn't. Is that oh yeah, that is two FF Realists. Okay, for some reason I thought I'd read it. I'm not usually the one that intros the Twitter handles.
You know what?
but
I'll just do this. Welcome everybody
you
to
fucked me
First
up
Read
'cause you
Fantasy.
started
Today we
talking
are
first.
doing a $5 Superflex best ball draft. I am joined by Pete Nova, who should be getting ready for volleyball, but instead he said, I want to do a best ball draft. You can follow him at Supernova38. He's got 2 R's. That's why he's so special. Also joined by Fantasy Football Anonymous himself. His name is Ernie. He's feeling 5 pounds lighter, but we won't tell you why. He can be followed at Fantasy Annoy, right? A 9, right?
Fantasy
Is that what we're gonna
Anani,
do?
but it stands for Fantasy Football Anonymous.
There we go. Stands for Fantasy Football Anonymous. There we go.
There you go.
So you go, Pete. I just introed it for you. But we are gonna do a $5 Superflex best ball draft. Hope you guys jump into the comments while you're here. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and let's have a jolly old time. Pete, I will now give it over to you.
Yeah. All right. Make sure we hit the 30-second draft. We'll do
Yes.
the Superflex, the puppy. I don't know. I mean, do you want to wait and see if people are here, or you want to just roll it?
I'm down to check with a 30-second if that's what you're asking.
No. I just meant like, do you want to see if people want to join in, or we just want to roll it?
Yeah.
We can just roll it. We can just roll it.
Yeah,
you know,
just roll
people join next time. All right. Are you guys ready to go?
Yep.
I am. You want to do a
I am.
countdown?
Yep. 3, 2, 1, go.
4 more to start.
Okay.
Mine says 5.
3 more.
3 more.
Oh, there we go. 3. Okay. Maybe this will fill up quick. Cool. 30 seconds are usually harder to fill. That's why we're all analyzing how many are left to fill for those who don't understand.
Where are you guys hoping to slot in here? Like, where's your preferred?
I
preferred spot in
honestly,
this?
I've gotten, I don't know why, but a majority of my drafts have been like, 8 to the back end. I'd like to get like number 1, number 2.
Yep, I'm with you.
Yeah, I feel like I always get stuck in the back end there, especially in these Superflex ones, which Ernie, you and I talked about this off air. We've been doing this like, we've been eating this like we're eating Pez, like so yeah.
It's bad.
Creations said first Superflex. Are you hopping in with us, Creations?
There you go.
If you are, that would be phenomenal. If you're hopping in, it's the $5. And yeah, I mean, I guess my preferred slot. I like to honestly be towards the back. I prefer like that 8-9 spot. Because for me, I hope to get like CMC in that spot. And then on the turn, if I can get, a London or a Nico in some way to fall. Doesn't always work that way, of course, but I'm obviously, but in terms of the super flex, yeah, I was thinking regular, not super flex. I guess I don't really have a preference in the super flex. I guess I don't have a preference because I mean, maybe I'd rather go. I guess I'd say probably in the beginning, only because I tend to not go quarterback first 2 picks, and I could at least get a quarterback in the 3rd round, and where it's not like a huge drop off. If I did that strategy in the back end, where it's like I have the 112 and the 2-1, and I don't go quarterback, then I gotta hope I get lucky that that quarterbacks fall to me at the back end.
I will just say, and this is an opportunity to tell people that if you want, go into our archives and check out some of our old content, previous content. We did a show. Ernie and I did one with Steve D'Angelo, who could be followed at Fantasy Savvy. He was in that back end, like you mentioned, didn't take a quarterback. I don't know if he took a quarterback or until like the 4th or 5th round, but his team still came out pretty good. Yeah,
it was wild.
His team still came out good, but I get what Pete's saying. It's a little it's easier said than done at that point. So
yeah. Vic, what's up, man? Been a while. Did you
Hmm?
did you see this collusion thing with the NFL?
I saw a headline, but I didn't read it. I was a little busy at the old day job today, so hence why you guys sent 80 texts in our group chat before I even got in there. So yeah, love that.
It was pretty nuts. I guess one of the, at least for the Broncos with Russ, I guess Russ was when when the Broncos had traded for Russ, ownership wasn't officially changed over. And so he had, I guess, wanted a 350 million guaranteed, and they ended up only giving him a $260 million deal with like 180 guaranteed. But like, isn't that crazy? Like the dude wanted double his guaranteed money. Imagine they did that. He wanted a 7-year deal.
That sounds like a Russell Wilson thing to do to me.
Yeah.
I was actually gonna say, and this brings it to mind. I had posted on X like because Aaron Rodgers said this is probably his last year. By the way,
Yeah.
we're waiting for 2 more people. If anybody wants to join the $5 puppy butt Superflex, $5 30-second clock. But yeah, when Aaron Rodgers said this is probably his last year, I was like, who are people going to despise then? Like when Rodgers is gone, and I got some answers. Pat Mahomes, this and that. If Russell Wilson wasn't so long in the tooth and had more of his career left, he would absolutely take that role because people find him to be the corniest, cringiest.
It's
and
just fake.
I think it's a little overdone with him,
It's
but
fake.
well, I think the hate is a little much with him though.
I think
But
I hate so much of
but
Rodgers.
yeah, 100%.
I don't hate him, but would you agree that he's fake?
Who, Rodgers?
Yeah,
Russ or Rodgers?
Russ.
Oh, Russ is fake as shit. Yeah.
Yeah, Russ is
That's what I'm
definitely.
saying. Like, I don't
Russ is
hate Russell
definitely
Wilson, but it's like I get why people do. He's corny. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like he's over the top with everything. And but Rodgers is just like, I don't know, man. He's just kind of doing his like hippie thing. Don't really bother me, but it's kind of, I think it's kind of funny. But
Rodgers.
yeah, no, I mean, I feel like Russell is more dislikable than Aaron. If this is the debate we're having,
Rodgers is your typical villain in which he's misunderstood.
Yeah, I think that's a
That's
good
what
way
I
to
go
put it.
with.
I think he's misunderstood for sure.
agreed.
But for the collusion thing, so the NFL
yeah.
Players Association, they argued that Deshaun Watson's contract should have set a precedent for stars like Russ, Lamar, Kyler Murray, and that the league's internal talk track warned that rising guarantees could handcuff teams under the salary cap. I guess my question is like, and this might come off bad, but what's the problem? I don't get what the problem with that is. Like, hey, if owners around the league are talking, you don't think they're friends? Like, they own the league. Like, so you don't think it's crazy to have a conversation with other owners and be like, yeah, like, it sets a bad precedent. Like, if we start giving out fully guaranteed contracts, they all were probably fucking pissed at the Browns. I mean, that was fucking stupid. And honestly, all these contracts to these quarterbacks have been ginormous mistakes for the most part. I mean, Kyler Murray has stunk so far since he's gotten paid.
Yes.
You have Russ, who was an absolute disaster. The Broncos were willing to take double the largest dead cap hit by double to just get him out of the fucking building. And then you have Deshaun Watson, who has been a disaster too. And that's not even including all the other quarterbacks that have gotten insanely inflated deals. So, like, I just don't really understand. And how come nobody's advocating for the running back position? What about, I mean, we're so worried about quarterbacks. I'm not worried or I don't feel bad that the quarterbacks are only getting 180 million guaranteed when these running backs are out here, and I get why, but these running backs are out here signing like $5 to $8 million deals with half of it guaranteed, and they're like pretty fucking good too.
Yeah, no, dude, I agree with you. I just think it's the analytics. Like at the end of the day, do I think people lean on the analytics too hard? Without a doubt. That's why Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley got signed for nothing last year, right? Because running back position has been devalued. The quarterback position has been ranked the most value, right? So that's why you kind of see the trend in the prices. But I
get that.
agree with you, man. And I think it's a copycat league. I think that's why, you saw more running backs go earlier this time, like 2 running backs in the first. Again, this is one of the better running back classes ever, but 2 running backs in the first round, a lot of running backs in round 2. So I think a lot of people like they saw, like, you know what? Yeah, man, if we have the offensive line like Baltimore and Philadelphia, we could just be a run first team and run all over people. And that benefits your football team in so many different ways. So I
And
think you'll
I
start
get
this
that.
like you look at Barkley's new contract. Like I feel like that kind of is a representation of like they are going to start getting paid a little bit more again.
Well, and I get that, I guess, but my thing is like we're we're sitting here bitching and complaining about the quarterbacks and all this collusion, but like the running backs have gotten the rawest deal out of anybody. And
Right.
so I just like I don't feel bad. By the way, this is funny because if I was in the one spot, I would have taken Chase and he falls to me at the 1-6 here. But I think
Yeah, our draft started, by the way.
this also signals that
Pete, wait. You would have
quarterbacks.
went you would have went Chase over the first 5 quarterbacks?
Yeah, I just like to do that in Superflex at the one spot
No, I
because
hear you.
I just think it throws off the board too.
Yeah.
Like you see, like nobody else besides me took a wide receiver.
Sure.
Everybody's gone quarterback, but I noticed that like when I go Chase off rip like that, like people start to like. I don't know if people change their mindset. They're like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
maybe I should take a skill player, but like you kind of like a lot of times like I end up getting like good quarterbacks that fall
Sure.
to me back at the second round. And
Yeah.
McCaffrey, look at that. McCaffrey goes the second guy that goes. More people are doing it, man. Like it's kind of weird. Like more people are just fucking balls deep, just taking a chance on CMC. I mean, it's a reach. I've reached on CMC a lot in some of these drafts, but I don't fucking.
Dude, I love it though. Like if you have that, like I'm big on, bro, if like you have that much conviction in a player, do it. You know what I mean? Like, because if CMC is healthy and he could easily be the RB1 again. The Niners are going to be better this year. So I love it. Go with your gut, brother.
I don't even have the funniest thing is I don't even have CMC RB1. I have it Bijan or Gibbs. I'm still Bijan right now, but I have Bijan, Gibbs, then CMC, then Barkley, and then probably Genty. Maybe I might slide Genty back a little bit too. But that's the funny thing. I just like getting exposure to CMC like early and just like seeing what builds that I can, because that's how you get unique stuff. I know sometimes it feels like, oh shit, it's a reach, but like how many people have in the 101 or the 103 have CMC in their builds? Not many. So when you look at the guys that you'll get afterwards in the second and third round, those are unique builds. You're not going to see many teams with, CMC, Lad McConkey, and maybe a Garrett Wilson build if that's possible. So stuff like that. That's why I kind of take chances like that.
Ernie, where are you picking here?
I'm 1.2, so I'm about to finally be back up. I'm with you, Hoff. It's cheesy, but I like the first 2 picks. I want Lamar or Josh Allen just because I actually normally I'm with Pete. Like I actually usually like trying to get the value quarterbacks later and take the strong positional player, the elite one early on. But I don't know. This year, I like having 1 or 2 and getting Allen or Lamar because I know I'm going to get like 400 points. And you can't really put you have that on your team. You just have such a big advantage.
Well, look at what you're getting though. Like, so after this pick, like the board's still pretty good with position players.
Yep.
I mean, Jefferson almost fell to you. Like, if you think about it.
Yep. All right, I gotta do
So
this.
it doesn't end up being the worst thing in the world to do that, right? I mean, you end up you have some pretty good skill players that are falling to you here.
Yep.
Jefferson wouldn't have fallen to him though, because I picked 2 spots before him. I would have snagged him, but I did end up taking CD Lamb. So
yeah,
start off AFC East heavy with Jalen Hurts and then CD Lamb.
I like it.
I did think about taking Chase since I was 4. If I was top 3, would have been quarterback no matter what. But I did debate a little bit being there in that spot. So
Sometimes you just gotta give it a shot.
I am up in the third round, and I am going to take Brian Thomas.
Duval.
Oh, you
Duval.
were dying for that. I like that. That was good.
That kind of organically happened. I mean, the soundtrack was there. It did
No,
organically.
I know.
I think
I
Brian
did do
Thomas
it.
is a good pick. I think the Travis Hunter hype got like out of control. You know, at the end of the day, like LSU wide receiver, proven commodity in the NFL, better offensive mind, like calling the plays this year. Like Brian Thomas is going to be a monster. I think
Yeah,
that's a
he
safe
is.
pick.
Yeah,
I'm kind of like how Pete feels about CMC. Dude, that's how I feel about Nico Collins, man. Like, dude, like if he didn't get hurt, he
You
was gonna
love
have
Nico.
2,000. Bro, he was gonna have 2,000 yards. And like, what's
Yeah.
gonna stop him from doing? Here's my thing. Like, I
You
get it.
keep
Like the
mocking me
offensive
about
line.
Kyron Williams. You gotta get a Nico Collins tattoo.
I will. I love him.
Okay.
Dude, I think Nico Collins is one of the most underrated fantasy football players. Like, would you be shocked if he finished wide receiver one this year?
No, I wouldn't bet on it, but no, I wouldn't be shocked.
Of course. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I'm just kind of going off of like the sample that I saw in the beginning of the year, and that kind of gives me a glimpse of like what could be. And then they signed what was it? They drafted Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel, who are good. I like both of them. But again, two rookies, and you have one established veteran with, a good quarterback. I think we all know the weakness in Houston is the offensive line, so that's like my only real concern. But I think Nico this year is just going to get drenched with targets again. As long as he doesn't get hurt, I think he's easily going to be a top 5 wide receiver. I don't know how he wouldn't be with the volume he's going to get.
I'll buy into that. I am up in 2 picks right now. Currently debating what to do. We'll see what the 2 picks in front of me. Actually, Pete's up now. Pete, what are you going with? You got 1 quarterback, 2 wide receivers so far. What are you doing?
We should take Bowers. I don't even usually do that, but
yeah, I mean, Superflex is different. It's a different way to value it, but just if I want a top tier tight end right now, I'm more so leaning towards going with like a Kittle. And no, that's not because I'm a 49er fan. That's just because I'd rather wait till the 4th round in traditional drafts. Usually you got Bowers going maybe back into the 1st, definitely 2nd. Then you got McBride going sandwiched in between them, and then Kittle around the 4th round. I'll tell you this.
It has a little bit to do with you being a Niners fan. A little bit.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
No,
I'll say this.
I'm just teasing.
I know. No, I'll say this though. If Trey McBride starts scoring touchdowns with that target share, fucking forget about it. Forget about it. I mean, that's your tight end 1.
100, he is. No, Trey McBride will be
mean,
tight end 1. Here's why. Him and Brock Bowers are both elite. Like that, like they're the 2 best. Like that's no brainer, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that
thanks for
even though you can make the
right?
argument that Brock Bowers is going to get an upgrade with Geno Smith, I know for a fact Trey McBride is going to have positive regression with his touchdowns. I think that's just like kind of, the odds are in the favor of that happening. So if he scores more touchdowns, I'm 100% with you, Hoff. I think he's tight end 1. I really do. Just because I think he will score more touchdowns. But him and Brock Bowers are easily. I think the talent is the same.
I don't think they're
both
gonna let Trey McBride wait till what was that, week 17 or week 16 when he scored his first touchdown, which is like insane.
Well, it's just weird with his target and his volume. That's why it's kind of weird.
But here's the whole bit is I could see Trey McBride getting right around that same target share, maybe a tad less. I could see Bowers falling off farther than a Trey McBride would. So if you're telling me that, and then you're telling me McBride's going to start scoring touchdowns, then McBride's your tight end 1.
Sure. Yeah, I agreed.
Yeah. But I'm just saying when it's also we're having a discussion about who's going to score more points, but then it's also a matter of value, ADP, how are you constructing your first 4 rounds of a draft? That's why I might be more inclined to take a Kittle, kind of beef up my other areas in that first 3 rounds. If
Sure.
you want to go that route. Tight end, we also know, is great to just punt. So, yeah, there's also that.
I'm with you there. It's actually funny. One of the builds I was doing like early when I started doing best ball drafts this year was I like taking Brock Bowers early on, like him and pairing him with like an elite wide receiver.
Yeah.
But then Hoff, I kind of pivoted more to well, I still would take Bowers, but I felt like, you know what, I'll just wait to take McBride round 3. Or sometimes you even get him round 4, and it's like he might actually outproduce Bowers this year. So then I would just pivot to taking that tight end a little bit later.
Yeah. No, that sounds about right. Who's coming up on the clock here? Pete, is that you or?
Yeah,
He
I
just
just took,
went into
I took
Kamara.
Kamara.
I hate you, Hoff. I hate you.
Cheers, buddy.
All right. I gotta pivot then. All right, perfect. I had to pivot. I usually take Danny Jones there. I love that pick, Mike. That's yeah, I think that's just such a I think he's underrated for fantasy. I don't know how good the Colts are
Well,
gonna be, but I just like that offense.
when you only have one quarterback at this point of the draft, you're kind of tied into it. So,
Dude, the value's there. I mean, bro, he was what, 2 years ago? He was like a top 10 fantasy quarterback. Now he's in the best. He's in the best spot of his career. It's kind of like when Darnold went to the Vikings last year. But yeah, man, I think that's a great pick in Superflex.
yeah. So, so far, my team, just so the fine folks know who are listening or watching, really, my draft so far, my quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones, Kyron Williams, Joe Mixon are my running backs. Wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb, Brian Thomas, A.J. Brown. So I do get the Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown stack. I will take that. We'll see how the rest of my draft turns out. Since I'm now relying on Daniel Jones in the Superflex, which, yes, it's a good pick, but it is a little bit daring. It is a little bit scary. So
Yeah, I like him more as like I try to target him as my quarterback 3 because again, there's obviously a lot of risk. We obviously know that Daniel Jones, based off of being on the Giants, he's not a proven commodity by any means yet. And we could all argue on why that is. But yeah, man, I feel like there's a better risk reward when he's like my 3rd quarterback. Because then if he is a hit, you have a rushing quarterback, and you get those spike weeks behind your 2 proven QBs. So I agree with you. It's definitely scary for sure.
and what we got coming up here? Taking a look. I'm up in 11 picks, which means Pete's coming up.
Who you guys eyeing here?
I mean, right now, I'll see what's going on at quarterback. Really, I feel happy about the way I rebounded at running back. I tend to realize that as I'm doing some of these super flex drafts, there's going to be a bit of a give and take somewhere. Right now, I think that's quarterback with Daniel Jones is my 2nd quarterback. So I might look and see what's going on over there. I might jump over to tight end. I don't have a tight end yet. So I'm just going to kind of see what people do here in these next 8 picks coming up, and then we will go from there. So that's where I'm at. Pete, you're picking a little bit sooner. What are you thinking right now? What's your layout?
Yeah, I mean, my running backs are pretty shot. not. I mean, I guess it's not. It's not really terrible. I mean, I have Kamara, and I have Judkins. My receivers are Jamar and Jefferson, and I have Bowers. Right. So I mean, that's kind of insane. And Dak, I think, can be a top 10, top 12 quarterback. If I can get one of these guys, Kamara or Judkins, probably more likely Kamara to finish top 12. And I can have Chase, Jefferson, and Bowers. I mean, that's pretty damn good. But I'm just gonna try to have to keep hitting running back here. Maybe go for Aaron Jones. Get some correlation here with Jefferson. I'll go Pollard actually instead. Fuck it.
Honestly, Pete, I'm a Dak hater, and even I think he's a safe top 10 quarterback this year. Like Dak is he's a very good fantasy football quarterback, especially if he plays a whole 17 games. Like Dallas has a good offense, especially it's very very fantasy friendly. So I think that's a great pick.
Yeah, I like it. I think that running game is gonna be pretty bad. So they should have to throw the football.
Yeah. I think they'll do something like, again, it won't be sexy, but Dallas's offensive line isn't what we're like accustomed to, but it is still solid and it's getting better. So they'll probably just, take two guys, man, and just get by with them. And whether it's Blue and somebody else. Let's go. Jalen Waddle. Love that.
Okay. Anyway, so all right, I'm up in 3 picks here. Ernie, you're on the clock now. You're sitting there with 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers. I have the same build as you. We'll see where you go here, and then I will make my pick shortly. So, and then Pete is right after me. 2 picks later, we're kind of all sandwiched, pretty close to one another. So, see where that goes. Who'd you get there? Josh Downs. Josh Downs is becoming everybody's favorite wide receiver.
Yeah, I have to reach for him. I was gonna try. He's just not gonna be there if I wait another round. So you unfortunately have to reach for him. Yeah, I'm all in. That's been one of my guys for a while. I think he's underrated.
And a product of me waiting on quarterbacks sometimes in these drafts for the umpteenth time, I have wound up with which if Steve D'Angelo is watching or if he watches this later, he will smirk. I drafted Joe Flacco because I waited too long to take a second quarterback. So I went ahead and I wound up with Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones, Joe Flacco. I will say this. I'm pretty confident that Daniel Jones is going to start the majority of the season. I felt that way before, like, these mini camps started. So I feel pretty comfortable with that. I'm just curious to see how he does in that offense. But, time will tell. But whatever. So there you go.
What you have in your back pocket though is like, I'll say this is like, dude, it's the best offensive line and supporting cast he's ever had. So I just only think there'll be a little bit of positive regression at least. Again, it's fantasy football. Like, it's different than actually being good. So
yeah. All right. So now let's see. We got 9 picks till I'm up. Pete, you made some picks there. Take a look at Pete's roster really quick. People can stop picking so goddamn fast. Dak Prescott, Geno Smith. At quarterback, running backs are Alvin Kamara, Quinton Junkins, Tony Pollard, Travis Etienne. Wide receivers, not too shabby. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and tight end, also not too shabby. Brock Bowers. I'm going to have to take a tight end again soon. Pete, you have any thoughts on your roster as you're also coming up soon with your 10th round pick?
No, I like it a lot. I mean, not going running back I've taken running backs the last 4 rounds and to pass, and now I can take a swing here on Dart too as my QB3. for passing on quarterback the first 2 rounds and to have this QB room, I'm happy with just based on the top end talent that I have with Chase and Jefferson. And these running backs, this is not a terrible running back room. I don't necessarily need like top 12 production, in my opinion. Having these guys, it would be very nice. And I think Kamara can give us that, right? I mean, we've talked about him ad nauseum, but I think there's enough upside in this room with these guys that I'm pretty happy about it, to be honest.
All right, so I am up now here. I got about 17 seconds left on the clock. My 10th round pick. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to finally take a tight end, and I'm going to go Evan Ingram. Not too bad getting Evan Ingram in the 10th round. Again, this is a super flex, so that's, some of these positional players fall a little bit farther than you're generally used to, but I'll take that. So, Ernie, you're coming up here. You got 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. What are you thinking here as you're waiting? You're up in a few picks.
Well, you sniped me on Engram. That's my boy. It's my tight end one. So I
you hate
went.
me twice over now.
Oh, I would knock your strawberry daiquiri out of your hand right now. I went. I went Tyler Warren, and now let me see. I'm gonna go Ibuka. I'm gonna go. Actually, it's disgusting, but I'm gonna go 2 rookies there.
Okay. Ibuka. Could be worse. You know what? In this one,
well, I was gonna go Engram and Warren back to back there, kind of solidify my tight end room, so I don't have to worry about it. So slight pivot. I mean, I love Ibuka, Ohio State wide receiver. Godwin most likely won't be healthy to start the year. He's probably gonna miss some games. He plays the same role as him. And again, Ibuka could play inside, outside. I think there's room for him to have a year 1 impact, especially any kind of PPR. And then, just the fact that Godwin isn't playing, I feel like he could establish rapport with Baker, and then the rest is history. So I like him because I think the Bucks will be. I think they're a fantasy friendly team. Like, I see a lot of high scoring games, a lot of shootouts. So I think there will be a lot of spike weeks with the Bucks wide receivers, and it could vary. So,
sure, yeah, I'm good with that. I like Ibuka a lot too. I think there's certainly a path for him to get 80 to 90 targets this year. I don't think that's out of the question, to be honest with you. I mean, Godwin, you figure a good chance he starts the year on PUP. Miss 4 games, and then even when he comes back, I mean, we've seen guys with these ankle injuries have issues. Maybe like usually like the following year, that it's always a down year, it feels like. And then, I mean, they've also been saying that Ibuka has been able to line inside and outside the slot, right? So he doesn't have to be inside, which gives him some flexibility. So I think he's going to be on the field a lot, and this is a Bucks team that ran 3 wide receiver sets. I think top 10 in the NFL last year. Bad defense.
Yep.
Going to throw the ball a lot. So, yeah, I don't mind it at all.
I'm in complete agreement with you, brother. I see it the same way. His dynasty outlook is insane. I think dynasty wise, bro, it's like I wouldn't be mad at you if you had him higher than like the 2 big dogs going. I really wouldn't, because like I actually kind of see it, man. Like, imagine like a year or 2 from now when Evans and Godwin kind of just are old and phased out. It'll be a PPR monster.
Yeah, I've pounded the table for Ibuka. I love him. I think he's going to be such a great. I don't even think it was a bad landing spot for him at all. I mean, if you wanted him to give you like top 15 production, probably not going to happen this year. But long term, I mean, it's a great landing spot.
Yeah, I think like if you buy into him year 1, I think you're drafting him as like a PPR flex with upside, right? Because it's like there's obviously a lot of variables to it. Like, dude, who knows if he just comes in and like I mean, Is it likely to happen? No, but like, what if he's Baker's favorite target? You know what I mean? Then it's just like, wow, like this kid's a monster from year one. But either way, I like him just because like the spike weeks. You know what I mean? There's going to be weeks where he'll probably have monster weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we saw McMillan last year have, I mean, multiple 2 touchdown games, and that was when guys got hurt. Baker seems to have a really good rapport with him, and he sounds like, I mean, out of all the rookies that have gone, went at least first round, and just in general on that the wide receiver position, like he seems like he's being the most talked up right now in camp, and there's nothing but good things to say about him at the moment. So it's encouraging. And I think Ibuk is very, very well could have like a Amon-Ra St. Brown kind of
Yes.
arc of his career,
Mhm.
but just more competition around him.
Yeah. The thing everybody has in their back pocket if they take him this year is that again, like Godwin is not starting the beginning of this year, so like they could develop that rapport and never look back. So
Sure.
there's that angle of it too, man, where it could really turn into a jackpot. But I'm in complete agreement with you.
Yeah, and I'm going to take Cedric Tillman here. I've talked about him a lot, but
Love that pick.
it's a reach. I mean, his ADP was 21 spots past this, but I'm going to take him high anyway, just because I don't really care about ADP. You know, it's funny. I thought about I every year at my live draft, like my friends, they always ask me to bring them cheat sheets, and I thought about just this year, just like fucking with the ADP on it, like you know what I mean, just like messing up the ADP, maybe putting it at standard or putting like the scoring settings like something strange where it makes the ADP all out of whack, like, and you just see like people will probably likely follow
Yes.
a good portion
100%.
because people are such a slave to ADP, and we talk about
Yes.
ADP because it's important, right? It's good to kind of get an idea of where guys are going. You know, if you can wait on a guy because he's going to probably likely go around behind, right? But overall, like, I mean, a lot of times people don't even remember guy. I mean, there was times Kyle Williams wasn't even being drafted in the first like 3 rounds of rookie drafts because Sleeper didn't even have him like in as like a top 40 player in the fucking rookie drafts, like the first 2
It
weeks.
was a great time to be alive. That's all I'll
Yeah.
say. Him
Which,
and Pat Bryant, they were like, dude, they're going behind like undrafted free agents. Like it's kind of insane.
yeah, I mean, and which with Kyle Williams specifically, there are reports that right now he's like 4th or 5th on the depth chart, which I
Sure.
mean, look, at the end of the day, like I'm not super concerned about where he is on the depth chart this early. And there's a world where like he doesn't get much burn this year, and I think that's fine either way.
No, I'm definitely with you. I think what it is, man, is like the separation skills and he's attached to Drake May. And I think we all want to try to hit those receivers. Like it's the same thing with Pat Bryant and Bo Nix. Like these are 2 young quarterbacks I'm very high on. I think both are going to be absolute studs. And if they hit, like these are legit receivers, they're going to be attached to 2 blossoming quarterbacks, so I think you're just chasing upside with those picks. And again, man, like Nico Collins was a 3rd round pick. Dude, he was a year 3 breakout. Like sometimes these guys take time, man. So like they don't break out year 1 and everybody thinks they're a bust. Like no, dynasty's different, man. Like you gotta stash these guys and you gotta see what happens, because you like look at Cedric Tillman. How about this? Like the guy, I love Tillman, right? But I love him as a dynasty stash because the Browns are most likely going to be terrible. And now let's say they get one of the blue chip quarterbacks in next year's draft, and Tillman's now in a contract year. Like he's probably going to go off. So
Sure.
that's how I look at dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, ironically enough, I mean, like when you look at Nico, right, the year 3 breakout. When you look at Tillman, I think he was, I don't know, was that Tillman's 2nd or 3rd year?
Last year was his 3rd year.
Was it?
Yes, I want to say. No, yes. No, last year was his second year. I'm sorry. He went the Jalen Hyatt draft. Yes.
You sure?
Yeah, because next year will be his contract year.
Okay. But I mean, either way, we're all looking for instant gratification,
Of course.
and I think that's such a problem. Like nobody has patience. It's the same with the NFL, quarterbacks, coaches. Like people don't want to wait, right? Like it's just how the world rolls right now. Fuck. I don't want Leggett. Oh, I hate Leggett, man. Fuck.
Pete, so you're buying into Carolina this year.
I am. Yeah,
I don't hate it. I love Canales.
Offense can get better. That's it. So
yeah, I mean they also they're gonna have a bottom 5 defense, and they're playing in a division that has the
Agreed.
Falcons bad defense, Bucks bad defense, Saints bad defense, and 2 domes and good weather for the Bucks in Tampa and good weather in Carolina as well.
Agreed, man. I what has me like as a believer with Carolina, at least more on the believer side, is I love Canales. And I thought at the end of the year, like the Panthers kind of looked good. Like they played the Chiefs and the Eagles tough. A lot of people forget that. So yeah, man, I could definitely see them Bryce Young taking a step. I mean, they got Tet, and that's probably the best outside receiver, or at least one of the best in the draft. So yeah, man, they could. I agree with your outlook too on it just being a bunch of messy shootouts. It's funny, both like AFC and NFC South divisions are they're like identical to each other. I feel.
I agree. It's usually just shit. Messy organizations. Outside of like maybe the Saints have been somewhat well run, but their cap situation's a mess with Mickey Loomis. But outside of that, I mean, the Colts haven't been. I mean, Irsay was one of the better, but outside of like those two, it's not like there was like no one's dominating. Like Colts dominated for a while, but yeah.
Well, it's just funny because it's like if the Texans are playing the Colts, it's going to be like a 30-30 game, which is awesome for fantasy football.
Sure. Why do I keep doing myself?
AFC and NFC South stink, but they are good for fantasy.
Yeah, the division winner is going to be like 10-7. You know what I mean? Just a bunch of high-scoring games.
Where are we going here? I'm going to go wide receiver here so far. We'll see what PGK does. But I've got 3 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 6 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. I'm going to loop in another wide receiver right meow. Romeo Dobbs went off the board. That is not who I want, so I will take Jalen McMillan. I know a lot of people are worried about Ibuka there, and I get it in a redraft sense, but in a best ball sense, when I'm getting him in the 16th round, 15th round, late 15th round, I'll roll the dice on that. When really, you look at who my wide receivers already are. CD Lamb, Brian Thomas, AJ Brown, Cooper Kupp, Christian Kirk, Hollywood Brown. I'm not asking Jalen McMillan to deliver me the world, so I will roll the dice on that. My tight ends, by the way, Evan Ingram, Mark Andrews. That's cool. Running backs got to work on, as per usual. Kyron Williams, Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, who I think can still deliver some spike weeks in best ball, and Javonte Williams, who I'm buying a little more into in that Cowboy backfield. At least is my 4th running back. If he was my first or my second, I'd be shitting a brick. He's my 4th running back. I'm not asking him.
Not good.
Dude, he was one of like the only. Don't even get me started on Javonte.
He stinks, bro. I love Javonte. I love him.
Yeah,
but like he just.
Yeah, it's over. It's over, Mike.
I don't know, Hoff.
I'm with you, Pete. It's over.
I mean, look, he gives you like a safe floor play. I get
I'm not going to go to bed and be like, Jesus Christ. I know.
I know.
What am I going to do in my life?
I think I would have taken a chance on Sanders before Javonte, though. But
Dude,
that's
give me blue at that point. I don't want either. I think you guys. No, I'm good. The problem is though, is like if you hit, it's gonna, whoever the lead ball carrier is there, it's gonna be another Rico Dowdle season. So there is, some appeal there, especially if like you're a zero RB guy, because then you get some stability. But again, it's like you got to guess: is it one of the old dusty vets? Is it the 5th round receiving back rookie? They also drafted a lot of people forget Phil Maffa, the running back from Clemson. Like, dude, he's a big pounder kind of like running back. But Albert said what's up to us, what's going on, brother, and then Jamie said something about Justin Fields. How low would I sell on him? What's the lowest you would sell Justin Fields? And I mean, are you guys like, I'm not a Justin Fields fan. I don't know how you guys feel, but I think like, I don't think the Jets are going to be very good this year. I think like, I like Glenn.
Finish with a better record than the Giants.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Oh.
that's not saying much.
What's up
So
with that,
I agree
Hawk?
with you, but it's not saying much. I definitely, you don't, dude, Pete, you're way too high on the Giants, bro.
I'm not. I just thought it was funny how Hoff said it.
I mean, look at the Giants'
like he was-
schedule and then
it's- it
tell
was
me
like
how
he was-
funny it is.
It was like he was trying to tell you, like, yeah, well, be better than the fucking Giants.
I mean,
Dude.
that's exactly what I said. That's exactly what just happened.
I know
That
you were
just
you were
happened.
trying to twist the knife a little bit on him, though. I think.
No.
Yeah, I
no.
agree. I agree, Pete. Actually, you know what? Now that I'm seeing it from that
Yeah.
angle, wow,
You know what?
man.
I think
You
he
know
was
what?
trying to twist
Fuck
the knife
both,
on
because
him.
I had to deal with like about 14 strawberry daiquiri texts in our conversation. You know what? If I'm going to twist the knife, I didn't mean to do it, but if
Wow.
I
And you're
inadvertently did it, and
He
it felt the other way about it,
he apologized. He apologized. It's
you're
okay.
taking advantage of.
apologize.
I'm one of the
didn't apologize
realist
for
Giants
shit.
fans.
Whoa,
with it.
relax.
sorry, your
Whoa.
team's not going to be good. Look at your schedule. Ernie, we talked about this when we went live the other day with the best ball draft. We talked about your schedule. Your schedule's not good. The Giants'
Oh, the
schedule
Giants?
is not good.
Oh, dude, they're easily starting 1-7. I agree. Oh,
Right.
like that's the thing. I agree. I'm like
Man.
an actual like unbiased realist Giants fan.
He's like the Timu Frank the Tank.
Let's not
I'm like
let's
Giants
not
fan.
pussyfoot around it. I said what I said. I own it.
And as even though I have a qualm now with Hoff for trying to twist the dagger on me, I do agree with him.
That was an inadvertent twist of the knife, though.
Like I think Fields
Friendly fire.
friendly fire. I think like Fields is good enough to win games, and I think their defense isn't going to be that bad. Like I don't know. I just think the Giants are terrible.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. Speaking of terrible, Williams' last comment. First time I got chlamydia was from a stripper named Strawberry Daiquiri. So many questions, but I can't answer them right now.
First time
Wow.
I got chlamydia was
I'll DM or text you later.
Why can't you ask no?
Will Bob Steve
Well, we
with
already
the best
when
comment
you
so far.
select to go live, you selected not for children. So
That is fair. I did select that, but I selected that because, whatever. Who cares? No, I'm not answering it right now. It's fine. Take the camera.
anyway, to answer your question, Jamie, I would say I would say like a high. I mean, it in a vacuum, a high second round pick is the lowest well, that's probably the lowest I'd sell him for. If I really didn't need the quarterback help, I'd rather just hold him, honestly, unless you think he's going to be a train wreck this year. If you don't need him, I'd rather just hold him and maybe trade him at the deadline or wait for a quarterback injury. Everybody's always quarterback needy. You're not going to get the value that you want for him right now if you trade him.
Honestly, Pete, actually, after you said that, if I had Justin Fields right now, I would, because I feel like his value's at. I feel like there's a lot of people in on him. Like
Yeah,
I feel
but
like his value.
if he starts giving you, if Fields is giving you what many think is giving you like top 8 production, and people start to buy in even more because they see him
Sure.
on the field.
Sure.
I mean, there's 100%. He's still young. Like people would pay like a first round pick.
Sure.
Probably. You could see that.
So you're saying hold him to the beginning of the year, let him put up some spike weeks right? And then sell higher on him. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't think you're going to get the value for him that you want no matter what if you sell him now. So,
Well,
I just
you could also make the argument though, but here's the thing: where would you say his like realistic value is right now? Like where low first, if people were being realistic.
yeah, I'd say that's fair.
Okay, let's say the Jets are a train wreck, which is very likely happening, right?
Very possible.
And he doesn't look good, and it looks like the Jets are obviously going to probably draft a quarterback. Where would you say his value is now? So it's like, I guess, like if you do hold on to him, and his value will kind of go up, I guess, to maybe a mid first. But I think it's like the likelihood of the Jets being bad than good is just so much greater. You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like you could actually get good value for him right now. You get a high second for him. Like I'm not a believer.
If you can get the value for him, sure. We're talking selling at the lowest, but
sure.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's willing to send you a late first right now, do it. I mean, if you're worried that he's going to go down in value, but if you don't think that's the case,
yes.
What's the rush to move him if the rookie
I'm
draft
with you.
happened? Unless you still have your rookie draft, then
Agreed.
That's a different story.
Agreed.
But we're rounding out here towards the end. I like my team. I don't like that I got drafted Xavier Legette. My running back room it's not amazing. It's not terrible. And yeah, I am up here with my last pick. Shit. Do I just get another quarterback? I feel like it's just gonna be a waste. I mean, I could take a chance on Joe Milton, but I don't think that matters.
Out of those guys, I would take Gabriel.
Yeah, but it's like
I think they just draft him in the third round. Like sometimes you just got to follow the.
I got Dak, Gino, and Jackson Dart. I think Dart's going to play at some point this year, so that's fine. I took Monungai. I'd rather take a chance. I think he's got a higher chance to add points for me than Dylan Gabriel or Joe Milton, who I could have backed up Dak.
Hell yeah, because Monungai, it's either going to be like the Bears' backfield. It's either going to be Monungai or Roshan, who plays that. Robin to Swift's Batman. If that's even the case, man, like I'm kind of scared about DeAndre Swift. Like, this is a guy that Ben Johnson got rid of when he was in Detroit, and now he kind of re-inherits him again. So who knows how much love he's going to get and how that split ends up. But I love Monungai being, I love Rutgers. I think Monungai is very underrated. I could easily see him being the thumper in that offense. And you got to imagine, like, Eric Bieniemy's there now, so he probably had a say in, drafting Monungai. So there's a lot to like there.
Yeah, I agree. But let's see. I think that's it. That is it. Let's go over the teams here real quick. Hoff, why don't you go over your team first?
All right. So my quarterbacks, I didn't realize. I guess I got auto drafted at some point. But Jalen Hurts, I did not. I got spoiler. I got auto drafted on my last quarterback. Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones, Joe Flacco. Then I got Jalen Milroe. Not sure how he stuck up in there, but there he is. But I feel decent about my quarterbacks. Not great, but whatever. Eventually, I'm going to do a super flex draft where I go quarterback heavy. Running backs, Kyron Williams, Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones, Javonte Williams, who you both don't like, but I'll take a bet that he has more fantasy points than Miles Sanders at the end of the year. I also took Kareem Hunt and then Jerome Ford. Kareem Hunt's always my bread and butter.
I would rather take Kareem Hunt over Javonte.
Here we go with this shit now. Wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb, Brian Thomas, A.J. Brown, Cooper Kupp, Christian Kirk, Hollywood Brown, Jalen McMillan, and then Keenan Allen, who eventually is going to play football for someone. Only 2 tight ends, but I feel good about my 2 tight ends because it's Evan Ingram and Mark Andrews. So
your first 3 receivers are nasty. That's kind of actually ridiculous.
Appreciate
Lamb,
that.
Thomas, and Brown. Well done, Hoff.
Hmm.
Andrews is falling, by the way, and Ingram is rising in ADP here.
Yeah, and Hoff stole him from me, that bastard.
I'll gladly take Andrews at his discount that he's going lately
I
too.
agree.
I love Ingram,
Agreed.
but I'll take Andrews at his discount. It's fine.
I would honestly, where I was, I could have taken Andrews. I went with Tyler Warren just because I'm not saying he's going to be Brock Bowers, but I think there is it's going to be very similar. And I'm more bullish on the Colts. So I kind of went with the upside, but I agree with you, dude. Like, of all the Ravens, I should have actually took him because I have Lamar. I forgot that. I would have had the stack, but I think he's the wide receiver one there, Andrews. Like, I always think the tight ends are going to benefit more. Like, I'd rather get Andrews at cost than Zay Flowers.
Sure.
So
we get that. I don't want Zay Flowers at his cost.
none. I have nothing to do with him. Andrews, that like, especially if you don't have a tight end, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, well, go over your team, Ernie.
Yeah, sure. So I didn't get as many quarterbacks as I want, but I usually like to get 3. I went 2 QBs, 5 running backs, 10 wide receiver, and 3 tight ends. So I went Lamar Jackson and Drake May. And then running backs, I went Omarion Hampton, RJ Harvey, Travion Henderson, Trey Benson, Jarquez Hunter. I don't mind the rookies because rookie running backs usually it's easier for them to produce. And as of lately, you look around the entire NFL, wide receivers, tight ends, it looks like they're making more of an instant impact. So not too concerned about the rookies. Wide receivers, I went Nico Collins, Rashi Rice, Jalen Waddle, Josh Downs, Emeka Ibuka, Pat Bryant, Jalen Noel, Dante Thornton, Roman Wilson, Alik Ayu Manor. I like my first 4. I think they all have wide receiver 1 potential and PPR. And then I kind of went on a boatload of rookies that I think have a lot of upside, just so I could have those spike weeks behind my main guys. And then my tight ends, I went Tyler Warren, Tucker Kraft, and Gadsden. Tyler Warren is me trying to shoot for that upside tight end, hopefully get some monster weeks out of him. Tucker Kraft gives me stability. And then again, like this is more of a rarity where it's like I'll probably burn on this pick, but I'm a big Gadsden guy. I have been I think this was a really deep tight end class, and it's just ironic that the Chargers really like him. They traded up for him. And they don't really have a receiving tight end. I saw the Tyler Conklin hype video. I'm not too afraid of that. But yeah, man, there's a room where this kid could have an impact, and who knows how big that impact is. So if I'm getting the starting tight end of the Chargers, or at least the receiving tight end of the Chargers in the last round, I kind of like that to just add some maybe small spike weeks to my tight end room. But
Sure.
That's my squad.
Yeah, I like it. I think the receivers are good. You obviously love Rice and Nico, so you get both of them, which is great. Yeah, Josh Downs ADP wise at 120 is good. I've seen him in regular non-Superflex go much higher. So I like Downs, that, but I start to worry when he starts to get pushed up a little too high. Just because there is still some worry with that quarterback play, but I'm still buying into him. But yeah, I like the team overall. And let's see. Stacks wise, you didn't really get much on the stacks. I guess you didn't press it then.
I didn't. Yeah, I'm not like a big stack guy. Like if it's there, cool, I'll take it. I feel like a stack. That the most common stack that I've seen my teams have is I go Herbert, Trey Harris, just because it's like value. But I'm not a big, and I could be an idiot for this, and I probably should try to implement them more. But I don't really go for the stack. I just go for the value.
Stacks are important. But I don't agree with passing on really good value just to get a stack, or
Right.
also just just in general grabbing players that you don't love just to fill a stack. I think that's sometimes where I get lost when people do stuff like that. But I didn't really get much stacks here either. I go Dak, Geno, Jackson Dart. I'm fine with that quarterback room based on the fact that I took Jamar and Jefferson right first. I get Kamara, I get Judkins, I get Pollard, I get ETN. I just need one of these guys to get touch into that top 12. I know Kamara is going to put up a couple of big weeks, give me some spikes, which is all I really need. And then these guys, one of these guys settling in like inside the 20 to 12 to 20 range would be fine. And then I take Algier, Lloyd, and Manung guys, just some
Some good
handcuff.
handcuffs.
Yeah.
But your first three running backs, like what they have though, dude, is like they have the volume. They might
Yeah.
not be on the best teams, but they're gonna get the volume. So it'll vary between the spike weeks. But I think you're covered.
Yeah. And then I get Jamar, I get Jefferson, I go Darnell Mooney, I get Raheed Shaheed, I take Tillman, who I really like. I accidentally got Leggett. That was not on purpose, but really I did miss out on buys. I did not really get a ton of good players on buys at the same time, which is nice. Outside of I get Leggett and Douglas, but I like Pop Douglas more than Leggett, who I took 20 spots below, but again, I didn't really take him. I was auto picked. And then I get Bowers. I took Michael Mayer and Bowers just to stack and protect. And then I take Theo Johnson, who I get a stack with Jackson Dart. So I get a small stack there at the end. Not a ton of stacking either for me. Hoff had to drop off, but that's going to do it for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching. William Stevenson, we will catch you later. Jamie, appreciate you tuning in. And we'll see you guys next time.
Me is looking counterfeit. I get done with one and move right on to another bit. Yeah.